Introduction to the OpenAI API in Python. Welcome to your first hands-on journey with the OpenAI API. You will learn how to perform basic operations with modern AI in Python. No previous API experience is needed for this lesson. Let us get started. Running the cell now. What is the OpenAI API? The OpenAI API lets your programs interact with smart language and media models. These models can understand text, generate content, and much more. API stands for Application Programming Interface. You will use Python to send instructions to the API and receive results. Running the cell now. This code disables notifications called warnings. That way, you will not see distracting messages while learning. Import NumPy as NP. We set the random seed to 42 for reproducibility. Running the cell now. This code sets up a clean environment by ignoring warnings and fixing the random seed for reproducibility in Python. Although it produces no visible output, this step is important to ensure consistent results when interacting with the OpenAI API later in the lesson. Notice how preparing your code environment helps you focus on learning without distractions. Preparing your environment. Before using the OpenAI API, you need a few things ready. An OpenAI account and API key. Python installed on your machine, version 3.7 or higher is recommended. The OpenAI Python package. Your API key is set as an environment variable for security. Running the cell now. If you do not have the OpenAI package, use this command in your terminal. It adds the software needed to access the OpenAI API. This is for your command line, not for inside Python. Running the cell now. This output shows the exact command you need to run in your terminal to install the OpenAI Python package. Notice it's a plain text printout here because the code is reminding you *where* to run it, not inside Python itself. This step is essential to prepare your environment before you can start using the OpenAI API in your scripts. These lines bring in the code needed for talking to your computer system and to OpenAI. You are now ready to connect to the OpenAI platform. Running the cell now. This code sets up the necessary environment by importing essential modules, OS to manage environment variables, and OpenAI for API access. Although there's no printed output here, this step is crucial as it ensures your Python environment is prepared to securely connect to the OpenAI API in the following lessons. Notice how this lays the groundwork before making any API calls. We are getting your secret API key from your system's environment settings. This keeps your key private and safe from others. Running the cell now. This code snippet shows how to securely load your OpenAI API key from an environment variable, ensuring it isn't hard-coded in your script. Notice there's no printed output. This step is about safe setup, keeping your credentials private while preparing your environment to use the API. Here, we are making a client object using your key. This client will help you send tasks to OpenAI and get answers. Running the cell now. Here, we initialize the OpenAI client using the provided API key, which sets up a secure connection to make requests. While there's no visible output, this step is crucial. It confirms your environment is prepared and ready to interact with the API in later lessons. Exploring safe API usage. Never share your API key publicly. Watch out for automation that sends too many requests too quickly. Always review the output, especially before using it in important tasks. Keep your software and packages updated. Running the cell now. This comment explains that we are going to try a basic chat completion using the OpenAI API. Here, we start creating a chat completion request with the client object. We specify the model to use for the chat completion, which is GPT-4.1 Mini. We provide the message history with one user message saying a hello. This line closes the function call to create the chat completion. We print out the content of the response from the RA's first choice message. Running the cell now. This output shows a simple, successful interaction with the OpenAI Chat Completion API, where the model responds politely to a user greeting. Notice how the key column here is the content in response.choices0.message, which holds the model's reply. This confirms the API call worked as intended. This step demonstrates the basic request-response flow, emphasizing the importance of checking output before integrating it into larger workflows. Now, you get to type in your own question or statement for the AI. Your words will be sent to the model, and you will see its reply printed after. Sending your question to the AI. Waiting for the RA's answer. Running the cell now. This output shows a clear, well-formed AI-generated explanation in response to the user's question, demonstrating successful interaction with the chat model. Notice how the model delivers a concise and informative answer, which highlights the importance of reviewing outputs carefully to ensure they meet your needs before further use. This reinforces the lesson's focus on safe and thoughtful API usage, emphasizing responsible handling of responses. This comment explains that the response's endpoint is used for direct completions. Here, we call the create method on the client's responses attribute to generate a response. We specify the model to use, which is GPT-4.1 mini. We provide the prompt asking to explain embeddings in one sentence. This line closes the method call parentheses. We print the text content of the first output from the response. Running the cell now. This output demonstrates a safe, direct API call that returns a concise explanation of embeddings, exactly as requested. Notice how the code accesses the first text response via resp output 0.content 0.text, highlighting the importance of correctly handling nested output structures. This reinforces careful review of API responses to ensure you extract and use the intended information securely and accurately. This line introduces the topic of creating embeddings using the OpenAI API. Here, you start creating an embedding by calling the embeddings creation method from the client. You specify which embedding model to use by naming it here. You provide the input text, a sentence that the model will turn into an embedding. You close the function call to create the embedding. This line prints the length of the generated embedding vector to see its size. Running the cell now. The output 1536 shows the length of the embedding vector generated by the OpenAI API for the input text. This confirms that the embedding model produces a fixed-size numeric representation, in this case, a 1536-dimensional vector, which is crucial for understanding how text is transformed for machine learning tasks. Always verify such outputs to ensure your API calls are functioning correctly and returning expected results. A comment explaining that this example shows simple error handling in case something goes wrong. Start a try block to attempt running code that might cause an error. Create a client with a deliberately wrong API key to simulate an error. Call the chat completion creation method on the client. Specify the model to be used for the chat completion request. Pass a message to the chat completion method with the user's input. Close the method call parentheses. Catch any exception that occurs during the try block and assign it to variable e. Print a friendly error message along with the actual error caught. Running the cell now. This output demonstrates the importance of proper error handling when using APIs. The 401 error clearly indicates an invalid API key, showing how the code catches and reports authorization failures to prevent misuse. This reinforces best practices: never share or hard code keys incorrectly, and always check for errors before proceeding. Best practices when using the OpenAI API. Keep your API key safe and never post it online. Use environment variables for secrets, not hard coding. Add error handling so your program keeps running if there is a problem. Start with smaller models to avoid high costs while testing. Check your usage and understand the billing details. Running the cell now. This line is a comment describing the mini project to make an AI chatbot. Here we define a function called simple_chat for our chatbot program. This line prints instructions telling the user how to stop chatting by typing "bye." We start an infinite loop so the chat continues until the user decides to stop. The program waits for the user to input a message to send to the AI. If the user types "bye" a case insensitive, the chat session will end. This line prints a message saying the chat has ended. The break command stops the infinite loop and exits the chat function. We call the OpenAI client's chat completion method to generate a reply from the AI. We specify the model to use for the chat responses, here a GPT for 0.1 mini. We send the user's input as the message content in the API request to the AI. The line prints the AI's response extracted from the API's returned message. This final line calls the simple_chat function to start the chatbot. Running the cell now. This output shows the AI responding with a clear, structured guide to getting started with Python, demonstrating how the chatbot can provide helpful, context-aware information. Notice how the code uses the smallest GPT for 0.1 mini model for efficient testing, aligning with best practices to manage costs while building and refining the chatbot interaction. This is a comment explaining that the code handles common OpenAI API issues. Start a try block to attempt running the API call. Call the OpenAI Chat Completions API to create a response. Specify the model to use for the API call. Provide the message with a user role and content test to send to the model. Close the API call parentheses. If successful, print a confirmation that the API works. Start an accept block to catch any errors from the try block. Print a message prompting the user to check potential issues if an error occurs. Suggest checking if the API key is correct. Suggest verifying internet connectivity. Suggest confirming that the correct model name is used. Print the actual error details to help diagnose the problem. Running the cell now. This output shows a successful connection to the OpenAI API, indicated by the message API is working, from the try block. It confirms that the API key is valid, the internet connection is active, and the chosen model name is correct, key checks to handle errors gracefully as part of best practices. This code snippet helps you validate your setup before moving on to more complex API calls. This is a comment telling you what this exercise is about. This line asks the user to enter a creative task prompt for the AI. This line begins the call to create a chat completion with the AI client. This line specifies which AI model to use for the completion. This line sends the user's prompt as a message with the role user. This line prints the content of the AI's response message. Running the cell now. This output shows the AI's creative response to the user's prompt, demonstrating how the code sends a custom message to the GPT for 0.1 mini model and retrieves the result. Notice how the short poem format confirms the prompt was processed successfully, highlighting the importance of testing smaller models to reduce costs while exploring creative possibilities in your application. This comment introduces the exercise to try a different endpoint. We ask the user to enter a sentence to convert into an embedding vector. We call the client's embeddings creation method to generate the vector. We specify which embedding model to use for the conversion. We supply the user's sentence wrapped in a list as the input to the model. We print out the length of the resulting embedding vector from the response. Running the cell now. This output shows the length of the embedding vector generated from your input sentence using the texture embedding 3 smaller model. Notice the fixed size of 1536, which is important as it ensures consistent input dimensions for downstream tasks like similarity or classification. This reinforces the best practice of starting with smaller, cost-effective models while experimenting with the API. Recap: what did you learn? You learned how to use the OpenAI API in Python. You practiced making requests to chat and responses endpoints. You discovered embeddings and how to handle errors. You built a simple chatbot project. You now know how to troubleshoot and safely use the API. Running the cell now. Thanks for learning. What is next? Try more OpenAI endpoints like audio transcription or text-to-speech. Practice different prompts to see what the AI can do. Watch other beginner projects on this channel. If you enjoyed this lesson, please like and subscribe for more Python and AI tutorials. Running the cell now.